We're gonna make the ultimate blue cheese dressing right now. We're gonna start by actually making our own homemade mayo as the base of the dressing. Then we're gonna pepper in sour cream, buttermilk, some seasonings, blue cheese. Absolutely perfect. This is the best of the best. Then we're gonna make a wedge salad. But let's start with the mayo, then we'll go into the blue cheese dressing. So we're gonna start with 1 egg yolk, and then we're going to make the mayo right into this bowl. Now you're gonna wanna add a little bit of acid to this. Typically you can use lemon juice. I'm gonna use a little port wine vinegar to change the flavor up here. I like the flavor of mustard in here, so I'm also gonna add a touch of Dijon mustard. Now the mustard also is gonna cut through some of this richness. It's gonna add more flavor, add bitterness, a little bit of acid, and it's really that simple. Now, this is the base right here to the mayo, okay? Now you're emulsifying the vinegar and the oil. A lot of people use vegetable oils when they make their mayo. I'm actually gonna use this new oil that I've fallen in love with recently. It's called 0 Acre oil. It's good for you as well. So if you're thinking about like seed oils and making sure that you're getting a really healthy oil, 0 Acre is kind of like on the new frontier of this type of oil. It's really neutral in flavor, which is why I like to use it to make mayo. So we're just gonna slowly drizzle in. Basically, I kind of go like 1 cup of oil to 1 egg yolk, and that's gonna make our mayo. But you just gotta slowly drizzle it in so that we can fully emulsify this. If you pour the oil in too quickly, then you're gonna get a broken mayo, you're gonna get a greasy mayo. Gonna add a touch of salt to this mayo as well, all right? A little bit of salt, a little bit of fresh cracked pepper, and that's it. So this is going to be the base of our blue cheese dressing. So 1 cup of mayo, all right? I'm gonna add roughly 1 cup of buttermilk, 1 cup of sour cream here, okay? Mix that in. Oh yeah, now we're talking, all right? So this is coming together. Now we can't forget about the chives. I'm gonna go about 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped chives. Once again, you don't have to go with the chives. You can go with any herb, but I want that vegetal aromatic flavor in there. So you can do fresh thyme, fresh tarragon, fresh parsley, any fresh herb. Don't go with the dried herbs on this one. You're gonna wanna go with the fresh herbs. Now I got a nice, roughly 6-ounce chunk of blue cheese. I wanna keep this pretty thick, so I'm just going to kind of break this up into the dressing right here. You can use the blue cheese crumbles if you like that. You can use a Maytag blue, you can use a Roquefort. This is really what we're talking about though, is to add more flavor to your blue cheese dressing. You can play with the blue cheese, it's that simple. Now, one of my secret recipes or ingredients in this recipe is Boursin cheese. This is like a creamy garlic herb cheese. It's got a ton of flavor. I like to add that into the dressing. I don't like to add fresh garlic into my blue cheese dressing because I feel like the flavor is a bit too strong. This has got some of that garlic worked into it, somewhat fermented in that garlic herb cheese. Boursin cheese is what it's called. So I go with maybe a 1/4 cup of that Boursin cheese. And then last but not least, the lemon, right? So citrus is key as I talk about acids in all of our dressings. This is a really, really rich sauce. So we wanna make sure that we add some of that acidity so that the flavors pop and it's not just overwhelming on the palate. Well, there's 2 ways of doing that. You can utilize the exterior of the citrus, which you get those beautiful oils from. And then I'm gonna cut it and I'm gonna use some of the citrus juice in there. All right, so now we've got everything pulled together. Now I'm gonna smash some of this blue cheese into the dressing itself as you mix it. All right, the buttermilk has got that acidity in there. The lemon juice has got the acidity. The sour cream, it's got that deep sour flavor. The richness of the mayo that we just made fresh, and obviously the richness of the blue cheese. The Boursin cheese is really that secret weapon, if you will, into this blue cheese dressing. And there you have it. Now, as you see, I like mine to be a little bit runnier than kind of your real hardcore Bob's chunk blue cheese dressing. Always go with the freshly cracked black pepper. The last thing you want to do is use that pre-ground black pepper because that stuff tastes like cardboard. Once you let it sit after it's been cracked, it loses all of those essential oils and it loses its flavor. So here you have it. The perfect blue cheese dressing right there. We're gonna make a wedge salad with the fresh blue cheese dressing that we just made, but the key to a good salad is you want layers of flavor, right? I talk about layers of flavor and everybody's like, what does that mean, layer your food? Well, it means that you don't want just one bland, flat flavor. Think about your palate, right? Salty, sour, sweet, and bitter. So in your salad, What's your sweet ingredient gonna be? What's your crunch gonna be? How are you gonna layer in acidity? How are you gonna layer vegetables in so they don't just taste like bland raw vegetables? For a wedge salad, the base is an iceberg lettuce, right? So that's gonna be the base of our salad. But I wanna have some carrot in here, I wanna have some onion, but I just don't want raw carrot, raw onion. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna do a quick pickle on both of these. Slice this onion into strips. Then I got my carrot, and people are apprehensive to use carrot. They think of it as an afterthought. Oh, I lost a big piece there. Watch your fingers, because last thing you want to have is a grated knuckle salad. Overall, just, go with any organic carrot. You don't have to go with the colored carrots. I like the look. I like the way it looks on the wedge salad. So I'm going to go with about, 3-4 carrots here. All right, so we got the carrots, we got the onion, right? So we're going to mix this up. Now, to get this pickling, if you wanted like a spicy pickle, you could add chilies to it right now. If you wanted something sweet, you could add a bunch of honey to it. The key, though, is to start, you want to purge a lot of this liquid out. So I'm going to hit this with a bunch of salt, okay? And what the salt is going to do right now is it's going to pull the moisture out of the onion. It's going to pull the moisture out of the carrot. And we're going to backfill that with vinegar, right? And that's where you're going to get that kind of pickled flavor. It's a quick pickle. So I'm going to let these sit, and I'm going to let the liquid come out for about, 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to hit it with the vinegar. So instead of just putting raw tomatoes on the salad, why not take your tomatoes, give them a slice, toss them up with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, maybe a touch of balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper, and then add that to the salad. A nice, almost seasoned tomato salad within your salad, right? This is layers of salads within salads. People who don't like salads should probably watch this video. Every salad needs bacon, so we're gonna just chop some bacon here. This is the texture that you want in your salad, and obviously, protein. This is key here. We gotta keep this healthy, so why not add some chopped bacon? All right, so our carrots and onions have been sitting now for not too long, just a couple minutes, but you can already see, you can squeeze this out. You see that liquid in there that's come out? Look at that. Within 1 to 2 minutes, it's already starting to purge that liquid, right? So you want to squeeze all that liquid out, and then we're gonna put the vinegar on top of this, right? So let me just pour this out. I like to use rice wine vinegar. It's pretty mild and mellow. It's a little bit sweet, so it gives it a nice non-astringent pickle flavor. So just let that marinate there. The age-old debate, do I chop a wedge or do I leave it in the form of a wedge, thus the name, and allow it to be knife and fork? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna meet everybody in the middle here. I'm gonna chop it into kind of 1-inch size pieces, but I am then gonna take it down into mini wedges, right? So what we'll do here is we'll give this a light toss in our dressing, and then we'll layer our flavors on top of the salad. All right, so we got our lettuce here in the bowl, and when I'm dressing a salad, I like to actually put the dressing around the outside of the bowl so that you don't get that one piece of salad that's like overly dressed and soggy. Always hit it with salt. Even though there's salt in the dressing, you still want to add salt when you toss your salad. I'm just going to layer in, right? I'm going to kind of create these sections of flavor on top. We got our pickled carrots and our pickled onions. To go with the salad, you gotta have steak, right? So this is kind of a steakhouse hybrid meal here. We've got the wedge salad, we got the fresh made blue cheese, and now let's just go with a real simply cooked steak. Once again, 5-10 minute steak here. The only thing that's gonna take time here is that I pulled my steaks. I'm not gonna cook them for about an hour. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a salt ahead of time. Now we do this at the restaurant as well. Before service, we'll actually pre-salt the steaks so that the moisture comes out of the meat, it goes back into the meat. I've talked about this a million times before. It's really kind of diffusing. It's a whole, I know it's not osmosis, but basically it's breaking the meat down. It's allowing the moisture to get inside the meat, and it's making your meat more succulent, more flavorful, and a little bit more tender. So you want this to salt for at least an hour, preferably 2 hours, up to 24 hours, but you only do this on steaks that are about 1 inch or plus thickness. Our steaks have been sitting now for about an hour, a little bit over an hour. That salt's been going in the meat, out of the meat, etc. Basically, they're ready to cook. Now, before I throw them in the oven, they're dry right now. They don't have any fat on them besides the fat that's already intermarbling in the steak. So I'm gonna add clarified butter to the steak. I love the flavor of the butter, but I also want that higher smoke point. So clarified butter, sometimes called ghee. I use whole butter to finish steaks, to finish sauces, and I use this clarified butter or ghee when I'm going to be cooking at a much higher temperature. It's also very, very good nutritionally. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this ghee and I'm gonna put it onto the steaks, right? And then I'm gonna just rub them down. I know this is, we're getting hands on here, we're getting dirty, but that's what cooking is, right? Sometimes I sleep on a steak as my pillow. I'm not afraid of this meat. I'm gonna throw these in a 275-degree oven right now. We're gonna cook them for about 8 to 10 minutes. Then we're gonna pull them, we're gonna let them cool for a sec, then we're gonna pan sear them. So I got my steaks here. Now look, if you wanna add a little protein to this salad, there you go, right? There's your perfect protein right on top. Now the only thing I'm gonna do is, because this is pretty rich, I'm just gonna add a little bit of port wine vinegar on top. Okay, and that's it. There you go. You got the perfect salad right there. Now that is a steakhouse salad.